respect the gazelle. Thank you, Ben. Yo, what is good, people? It is Friday. It's Feedback Friday. Happy, happy day. Extreme Pinball. You guys like this one? This is actually a mashup of two different modular ensembles. We'll take a look at that in just a sec. Let's say hello to some people. Daniel, happy Feedback Friday. You're first. Nano, welcome in, homie. Thank you for the 13 months back. And then some. Looks like the sounds are working. Saffron, welcome in. Paul is tuning in from sun-rainy Maryland. It is bright gray rainy Portland over here. Neola. Am I saying that right? Ewola? Yo, what's up? How you doing? Happy Friday. Ben says, this sounds like one of those science exhibits where they go over the top on the art, but it's only one button interactive. That's me. Very experimental and dark. Right there. Muzz, what's up? How you doing? Happy Friday. Javar, welcome in. Man, I saw that I had a couple messages on Discord. I'm gonna check those really quick before we check the queue. Yo, what up, Muzz? I see you over there. Say hello to my cute little robot. Javar makes a good point. Javar makes a good point. Maybe we should have a separate channel on the Discord for Feedback Friday and keep the public feedback, because people have kind of stopped posting to the public feedback outside of Fridays, except for those that are posting like a day early to make sure that they get in line for Fridays. This is probably really loud, distracting, huh? All right, let's see here. That's a good idea. We should do that. Thank you for your patience. I'm over here typing to Tom. Masters by Iggy in the chat, if he's here. Ooh, just finished up a track you spent a good 3 weeks on. All right, I want ears on this. Scruffy Rico, welcome in. Central, you are here. Excellent. And Liquid Phase is here. Welcome in, Michael. No video yet, but give me 30 minutes, says Scruffy. Nice, dude. Oh, Ben, dude. Did you get it too? I hated losing the voice, and then it took like... It's taken, I have a couple of cough drops here just in case, but it's taken like up until, I don't know, like maybe yesterday, to where I didn't feel like I had like random phlegm just like needing to jump out of my throat. It's sexy, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. and the hurting back muscles from all the coughing. Yeah. Yeah. I hope everyone is staying healthy out there. Zamertz, welcome in. Man. Here we go. We're going to click on public feedback here. See what happens. 11. 11 of you in line already. Okay. So, I guess we should probably get started on this then. I got a couple of messages from people asking, are we going to get to see you get to chop up or edit or process any of that 8-bit stuff that you made this week? We'll see. Chances are kind of slim at this point. If we somehow end up with a really slow end to this Feedback Friday, we'll open up that project and you guys can watch me do my thing until we peace out. But otherwise, I think... ooh, I see Cardio Party typing down here. Otherwise, I think you guys will probably just magically see the stuff released. Ms. Mix, welcome in. Happy Friday. We know you're around, Cardio. All right. Let's just start turning these things off one at a time here. Lovely. All right. For those who are interested, the first ensemble, I'll just turn this on for just 1 second here. Drummer in Orbit. This is from the factory library inside a reactor, right? Under the percussion, I tossed a little granular delay on there. And then some tasty distortion over the top to give it that classic modular sizzle. And then the other one is just like a detuned soundscape. It too is just a stock factory default or in preset. So if you're wanting to dip your toes into the water, you can load presets first, and it's not as scary. And I just creamed it out with some reverb. So that's what you were listening to. That's why it sounded like madness being jammed together, because it was. Hey, what's up, Cardio Party? How you doing, Liv? How do you get the wires to show? So some ensembles are made before the ports and wires. If you go here, I'm just going to zoom in here really quick. Way up here. This right here is the view that it's typically on. And if you click on this guy over here, it'll show you your ports and wires. This will show you your ports view. So if you want to see the highlight of the ports engaged currently but not have the wires hanging across the entire interface, you can have that as well. Or if you just want people to wonder how it's all happening, you go to the compact view. And then they just look at it and they're like, it's magic. You're welcome. Kwame, what's up? Wriggle Giggle, what's up? Happy Friday, y'all. If I've missed anyone, my apologies. Good to have you all here. Let's dig in. And Ms. Mix, first time chatter I see. What am I working on? I'm not going to work on anything except your music today. On Fridays, we listen to projects that are currently in progress, being produced by people throughout the community, and we tear them to pieces. We give them good constructive and creative feedback. All right, so let's see who's in here. All right, so we got a dozen people in the queue already. First one up is Javar. Dropped his link at 7:49 a.m. this morning. An exercise in vocal layering and spatial automation. Not sure what I'm going to use it for. It could be the beginning of a song or a short intro track for an album. If possible, wear headphones. This one is called Submergence. All right, hopefully you've all got your headphones on. Let's roll.
Been raining all day. Actually, it'd been raining all week. Today was so bad that we were doing more bailing than fishing. We spotted what looked like a small island. There were bills to pay, but as we drew closer, we realized that it was floating, or to be more precise, there was a ringing in our ears. It was bigger than any not exactly that, more like voices, but there were no words. Only the perception of wood splinters everywhere. I held on to a piece of wreckage and drifted away for what seemed like hours. Suddenly on dry land again. It was strange. I wasn't sure what it was, but everything felt different. Looked different. Being on land smelled different. The place where I grew up. I was aware of the ship. For once I drew strength from my surroundings. After returning from the storm, I lay in bed for days, not knowing what else to do. I no longer felt the need for the things. I realized that clouds were the deeper I went, the calmer it got. And I felt free. Free to join the dark shape that was rapidly approaching from below.
This is great. This is so much fun. It's great, dude. You've got my favorite podcast. It's awesome. The only thing that I would say, in regards to like critical feedback is just maybe perhaps ease them in a bit more. It seemed like they all kind of faded out nicely, but some of them came in somewhat abruptly, and if they came in just a little bit easier, um, I think missing part of a word even on the like as it's coming in, so it's like stream of thought kind of would just add to the mysterious effect, and um, that's it. And I still think that you should. It won't be changing it. Okay, cool, awesome. I know you want to bring in talent for some characters. Um, I'm glad that your voice is going to be in this. Stereo imaging is great. Great use of space. That low end hit that happens like I don't know minute 15 in or something like that. Was just so perfect. You really set this mood and you left that chunk of frequency range open the whole time, and put it to good use. It's really good stuff, man. I really like it. Paul says, touch of theremin, perhaps? Hee hee. Oodles of automation. Yeah, I bet. Walks, you are welcome to join the mix. Go ahead, hit the Discord, find the public feedback channel. Drop your link at the bottom and sit tight. That's all I got for you, Javar. This is great. This is fantastic. I just want more. Every time I hear it, I want more. Always suffering from. um, Walks, all genres are welcome. Yeah, I just want more. I just want more. I feel like if you could just like release maybe the whole first season and then start dropping individual episodes, that'd be great. Just to kind of get the fix. You know? All right, Samaritz, you are up. Ooh, a collab. All right. Samaritz is saying I did a collab with DJ Shadow, who normally does classical mixes. He asked me about favorite classical composers, opted for Bach, Moonlight Sonata. He gave me just the MIDI with no expectations. It's only got echoes of the original melodies intermingled, but lots in there to pull from and make something else. All the notes feature from the original. All right, let's check this. Moonlight on Jupiter. Jafar was saying this would make Wendy proud, and it would. This was great. Zamertz, I love you, homie. You're a freaking fantastic person, and all you do is just crank out awesome stuff that we get to enjoy, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Everything about this art. Everything about this art. Moving from the glassy metallic kind of FME kind of old school art into the piano. And that mid-range soft attack, you know, horn swell synth. You've been playing with that kind of sound lately, and I really I really dig it. This has got to be one of the more original and satisfying takes on Bach that I've heard in quite a while, man. I like it. TX7 for the art, right? Milk, welcome in. Happy Friday. Yeah, again, you deserve another spot in a Kubrick soundtrack. Recluse. What's up, homie? How you doing? Welcome in. Happy Friday. Always good to have you here. We're off. Like, right out the gates, we get greatness. Fridays are freaking fantastic. I'm starting to feel bad for the people that aren't here on Fridays. I have nothing for you, Zamertz. I have nothing for you, except for thank you. Seriously. Really solid on all fronts. And it was fun to hear collab. Respect the gazelle. Thank you so much, Muzz. I appreciate you. Quick reminder, everyone who subs to the Twitch gets a free sound pack. You can grab that by syncing your profiles on Twitch and Discord, and you will gain access to the subscriber rewards channel down here. Right now, the free sound pack of the month is gold, which, if you're not familiar with the hierarchy of OhmLab packs, it's sequenced toppers, sequenced groovy percussive elements, loops that you can toss onto any beat, and it sounds great. They're made from the Trinket samples. Trinkets is a very, very popular layered Foley percussion pack. All right, Nano, you are up. This one, SRAM. SRAM 5.1. We've got to download this, though, I'm thinking. Yeah, we do. Ben, you're always too big to scan for viruses. I bet you get that a lot. There we go. All right. Version 5.1. Right there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did that really just end like that? Dude, seriously, this is great. This is great. I don't really have a lot to pick apart on this one for you. Loudness in a whip. Really nice intro. That moment at 2:03 when it all pivots is just fantastic. It's like you've got the Mauprids flowing through you. Pridsmau. Pridsmau? Mauprids. It's got the organic thing, man. And it feels good. It feels good. More perk stuff on top says cardio. I think I saw Central One mention some dissonance. Um, yeah, of course it's loud. Um, Other than that, I mean, I always want you to let your stuff breathe a little bit more. But other than that, it's pretty good. I think that you know what Cardio's saying about some perks up top. You could even have like a little cameo with an acid base in there that would sound really nice. I mean, I think it's just playful stuff at this point. This is the point at which you bring like 30% of your projects to us. It's like this is pretty complete, and people would dance to this, and they would want to hear it again in the club. But if you added just a little bit more play energy to it, you would have like a nice hit, you know? Yes, exactly, cardio. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah, this one's pretty solid, man. I think I can't remember which track it was that you brought through a couple of months ago, but I was like, damn, dude, this right here, it's oh, it was one of the darker, heavier ones, one of the very first ones that you brought in from the collab. But there was just um, so much opportunity for play, and some of it had already been cashed in on. And I think that, you know, if you were to just sit and not even look at the computer, but just twist knobs, you would probably find a few different little things to play with. A couple filter sweeps, a couple little stutters. You could even put in a full stop. You could even do it in an unexpected place, like right after those drums hit. Wouldn't that be fun? Do 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 do. Boo, do, 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 right? Stop for like a full. Mm, I love stops too. But you know, when you get it at just the right spot, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Nano, I think it's just this point that you get to in your tracks where it's like, man, this sounds really complete. And technically speaking, it is. But it's the fun thing. You got to go back in there and make sure that it's all really fun because your stuff has such a freaking quality to it. You know, it's absolute club vibe. So it's got to have that fun, that extra little dash of energy and the quick knob twists and the quick fades and stuff every once in a while because you just get so excited. You know, those full stops, absolutely. Hands up. Uncle Crumb is next. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Uncle Chrome's bringing something up that happened like I don't even know. Like how long ago was that? Like 16 months ago, maybe more. It was before all of the Rattly and Raw stuff, I think. All right. So he says, "Remember Pink Trombone? This one is called Beefy Bones." And I'm just going to click into the full screen here for this one. It needs more. Put your hands up. Yeah, if you send in work in progress tracks, we will give you feedback so you can make them better before you release them. Except for Uncle Crumb, we do not provide feedback to Uncle Crumb. we just enjoy Uncle Chrome. Look at this. And if I slept enough to dream, my dreams would look like this. If my dreams looked like this, I would dream more. Definitely. Oh, nice. Nice little peek through here. There's the big trombone. Paul, I love the little peekaboo. This is great. That was lovely. Bravo. Bravo, that was lovely. I love it. This was amazing. Thank you, Paul. I feel like those are little breaks. What a great tempo, right? Nice little palette. Pink trombone in there getting all wild. That was lovely. I really like the super subtle peekaboo with the opacity around the mouse there. It's good stuff. Okay, we got Daniel up. Daniel, this is it. 80 to 130 is your perfect tempo to work with, huh? What is everybody's favorite tempo to work with? It doesn't have to be specific to what you're like known for working with, but what do you generally like to dink around with, shall we say? Daniel, you're up. Light bloom in VCV. Good to know. Oh, was not expecting the distance. Um, this is really nice. I like the tasty little chord synth. The vocal is right up on top. Might be a little bit crisp, but like where it is right now, it's kind of hitting that ASMR kind of sweet spot. So maybe it's just a matter of kind of saturating some of the other things, which is where I would probably steer you. I like the distant beat choice. Um, Always a good thing. I think the drums and the bass can both be um, warmed. I think that the one of the most pleasing things for me about ambient dub, and I listen to quite a bit of it actually, is the warmth that's cutting through. Um, you can always tell that everything is being restrained. It's not just pushed to the distance, right? It's being obscured, something's being withheld, there's a constraint to the whole thing. And the warmth, the mid-range and low mid warmth of the whole thing is almost kind of intensified through that because it then becomes the main focal point of so much. And I feel like that's kind of what's missing in this is the real warmth. You've got all the right sounds. So now I think it's just a matter of just kind of building up a bit more in that low mid area. Um, and I think that saturation can do a lot for you there because you would be building upon what you already have. You don't really need to be adding more to it. The other thing that I would put out there is that you could have a couple of fleeting things in here. I think I've mentioned this before, maybe even with your last one, and that is just like a random embellishment of some kind, like a transition sound effect, like a little, like a little swoosh or whoosh or swell or something like that. Um, you could even just have like a random thunderclap with rain coming down and it just kind of fades out over a period of like 10 seconds or something like that. Stuff like that can totally fly um, with this kind of music because we're manipulating what is being delivered in such a way, right? Um, So anyway, I would leave the hi hat where it is, loudness wise, because it seems to be pretty much in line with the vocals. Both of them feel a little bit up to me right now because the other stuff is kind of pushed back. So that's where I would probably send you here. Um, yeah, this is one of those amame things, right? Like it's like a finishing touch kind of a thing, right? Like you've got all of your ingredients. You've got all of your stuff in the right places. So now it's just like just sprinkle on some garnishes, basically, right? The tasty little bits, right? And part of the sprinkling of stuff is just harmonics being sprinkled through the mix, right? And a lot of that's going to come from just some general saturation there. So, I guess the other thing that I would mention is that it felt a little even to me, in that there wasn't much of a kind of a push pull relationship. So your beat is is so far removed that it's kind of like a light in distant fog, right? Like it's so obscured, you know that it's there, but you can't. There is no actual pinpoint to it, right? Um, so one more thing that you can do to give it more influence on the entirety of the mixes is increase some sort of atmospheric pump effect, right? Some kind of surge, swell, or pump effect. You know, usually like the sidechain ducking compression thing is enough to do that. So you might want to try that. Just taking your whole atmospheric mix and having it being pumped by that beat. So Tremtice is here. Welcome in, Tremtice. Kwame. Oh, you got to go. Okay. Good luck out there, homie. Let us know when you come back so we can circle back to yours. Nano is saying that was super cool. More sidechain for separation and pump could help. Yeah, Mike, I think a Liquid Face has a good point, right? I think I mentioned this too. The hats and the vocals both seem a little hot to me, but I think it's really just a matter of getting the rest balanced out with it. And then you just want to make sure that you're within your LUFS range. Can I crush my bean juice in just one sip? Yeah, I probably could. Me and coffee, man. Hey, Alex is here. Vapor Palms in the chat. Welcome in, homie. How you doing today? Oh, you guys. Oh, man. That sentence needs to be on the mug. Oh, shit. Wax, no, you have not been played yet. Muzz, you are up. All right. Disco Schlamp. Work in progress. 174 BPM, F minor for those who are keeping track at home. Let's do this, Muzz. Oh. Come on, Muzz. You're going to stop after 1 minute 39 seconds of that? Come on, man. I want the rest. Jeez. All right. Mysterious feel in the intro. I freaking love it. It's great. The snare, right before it starts to sweep up again, it sits there in that spot for like maybe 4 seconds or so. And it feels like it's just being pushed a bit much. I think it's a byproduct of the compression. I think I've mentioned this before, but I want a little more separation. because the compression itself has too much influence on the comparative loudness, like the perceived difference of loudness between the different elements in the mix. I think that your peak levels are fine, but I do want other things. I want there to be more of a hierarchy of sound, and I want that to change over time, because everything is so flippin' impressive and expressive, right? And like, to highlight that, to exploit that to its fullest, I think more room for those things to come up and go down. I think that's the only thing I feel is really missing in your stuff, is just like that perfect sweet spot balance with the threshold that the compression is being triggered at. I feel like your attack and your release is fine, but your ratio and your threshold are a bit much. And I think that maybe grouping stuff and moving more toward a multi-band compression as the main difference maker at the end of all of your mixing would probably be where I would steer you. I would really want there to be a really nice like super precise multi-band compression at the front of your mastering chain, right after your initial EQ. That is not in a static. It's not in a static position. It's being manipulated throughout the mix to better achieve what you're going for. That's personally what I would do. Is I would make the master a bit more dynamic and really highlight some of these things in the mix. That's what I do. Holy hell, dude, this is tasty. So good. So good. Okay, let's see what the chat is saying. They probably lost all their ish. Disco chicken English. Oh, that's funny. Yes, nice space. Absolutely. Alex says, chick would be the family-friendly translation? Michael was able to put into words what we were all feeling. That's oomph. Oh, man. Yeah, people were just kind of losing their minds out here. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Tremtide says, feel like the snare could be layered with something right now. This sounds like a pre-drop before the actual drop. Very cool. All right. Well, hey, I'm glad that it's vibing with you, the feedback and all that. And bring more, please. This is so good. Neola says, for my track, I need some suggestions on vocal mix, synth mix. First time I really used this stuff with my experimental metal stuff. Ooh, okay. More experimental metal here, you guys. This should be good. Thank you, Muzz. All right, this one is Let Me In. Yo, what up, poor fish? Welcome in.
I never wanted to be like this. I imagine it different. Forgive me. I never wanted to be like this. I imagine it different. Forgive me if you can.
Okay, you've got a really, really, really good idea here, and you've got all the pieces. You just need to give everything the right position in the mix. You need to prioritize these things. And that means that you're going to cut into some of these sounds with an EQ deeper than you were originally expecting, and everything is still going to be okay. It's actually going to sound better than this. This is the point that we oftentimes find ourselves getting into. I remember seeing in the chat before we started that this is like your first time playing with this stuff. So here's what needs to happen. You need to start with the fresh volume mix, and you need to pick one hero, and that's your vocals. Okay. Then you pick one element in the mix with sub. And that is the thing that has to maintain sub presence throughout the mix. You've got to get rid of the sub frequencies and everything else in the mix. You can then readdress that later. Okay, if you feel like it's lacking low end when that sub element dips out for a moment and you've got other rumbly bits in the mix that can kind of, fill that space, then fine. But really, a lot of the sub frequencies in play here are frequencies that are felt, not heard. And unfortunately, part of the effect that we can feel is something that is audible, and that's the crushing of the rest of the mix in places. Just really quick, the reason why that's happening is because there's only so much energy. Only so much energy going through your speakers, only so much energy, period, right? So if more energy is being expended reproducing frequencies that can't even be heard and are absolutely dominant over the rest of the mix, then the rest of the mix sounds kind of deflated. So that's why that's happening. The other thing is that frequencies are running into each other. So you just got to be a bit more aggressive in your low end and mid range wrangling in a couple of your elements. Okay. And this is easily done. You can even start by just playing with one of your positions. Let's say that you've got something like this on one of your tracks to wrangle in the low end. It's not an element that has sub bass in it, like as a focal point, right? In its character. Maybe it's even just like a mid-range sound. You could probably get away with rolling it all the way up here and start to find a sweet spot of like where you can start this cut, right? You can even increase the decibel per octave curve and get up really nice and tight and start A-Bing it in the mix. right? Don't do all of this in isolation. That's the second step, right? Because there will be enough oomph and low end in the mix elsewhere to justify attenuation like this or cuts like this. And other times you're going to have to back it way off, like this. But ideally, the large majority of your mix is above 60 or 80 hertz, right? And there's really only a couple of guys down here, right? And there should really only be one at a time over here. So that's one thing. Another thing would just be the kick on the side. Part of this will be fixed with that EQ work, but you do need to just kind of be aware of the effect of low frequencies, especially on the sides. You do have a lot of space in the middle because you've moved the drum over, which means that your vocal will cut through immediately as soon as you fix the volume relationship. Everything should be mixed under the vocals, like I was saying. And as you move up in frequency, those are the lighter, more nimble things that can be moved a little bit further out to the sides. And you just want to make sure that those are going to play nicely on the side that the kick is on. Really, really super dope vibe in this one, by the way. And in general, the subs are just too high. So if you do not have a good way to monitor subs in your production space, just make sure that you have a meter running all of the time that shows you what your output is, so you can see the relative mix, right? It's on your output, like your main output. So you can see, if your sub levels are up here and the rest of your mix is down here, you got to bring them way down. They should be down below the rest of your mix as a supportive element. At 47 seconds, that airy transition effect, it had a bunch of resonance. So I think what is probably happening is you've got a filter there with the resonance turned up, and you don't need that. You don't need that because you've got so many other frequencies in the mix. So as that sweeps through, it's going to have a natural resonant peak to it. Multiband compression on the vocals will help you add more definition and clarity. So you can wrangle in the lows. You can be more aggressive in the attenuation of volume in the lows, while focusing more energy on the mids, and that will help them pop a bit. 230, I hear what you're going for. It feels a little odd. I think you need something else in there to help maintain some semblance of like orientation for the listener. And it could be as simple as just tossing in a steady 4 count on some open hats or on a rim or something like that. And that's it, really. I mean, I pointed out a couple of specific spots where you can hear a lot of like the conflicting low end elements here, but really it's throughout. It's throughout. It's something that you just need to address right now. And once you do start to work in the right direction with that, you're going to hear everything just open up. And a lot of your questions about your vocals right now will be just solved. You'll just hear them differently. So good job on not overdoing any EQ after getting to that point of not knowing where to go next. So good on you for knowing when to stop. Hey, Heidi's here. What's up, Purple? The Real Stringy, welcome in. Let's see what the chat is saying. Been producing for about 5 months, so thank you for the feedback. Very cool. Very cool. Walks is ready. Walks is ready. Hey, Becky, welcome in. Andrew Jack, welcome in. Of course, you can poke my brain about something. And guitars need to smack. Yes, I didn't even mention the guitars in all of this. I'm sorry. But they also need to smack, as they say. But you know what? A lot of how we're perceiving things in the mix right now is altered because of all of the low-end dominance. So clean that up before you make any decisions about how to proceed with anything else. And just be really honest with yourself about like how it vibes when you compare it to something that you know is of a certain production quality that you're aiming for. right? So like if you've got a couple of favorite bands, literally just drag a couple of their tracks into your project and A/B them, and just be brutally honest with yourself about what you feel. Like, wow, those guitars are really freaking anemic. I need to beef them up. And if so, then you know what? It's probably going to be some guitar tools that are going to do that for you the best, right? Um, so not getting too fancy or tricky. All right, we're moving on. Next up, and great track by the way, Central, you are up. Another track on the EP. This one's a bit empty to make room for vocals whenever I do get to them. Okay, cool. Oh, the hug party has started. Always good to see the love. All right, Central, let's see what you're cooking up this week. 88. Sometimes our textures are so flippin' similar, I feel like you're using sounds that I have just made. Oh, right there. Oh. Oh, Central. Homie. Dude. You're fantastic. Just not sure how to fill everything up without the vocals. Don't. Don't. If you feel like there might be some sprinkles, or space for sprinkles, um, get the main ingredients in place first. Don't, like, I feel like if you're adding anything at this point, it's more like garnish work, brother. Like seriously, like you've got something really tasty. The vocals have to be front and center, right? And receive all the spotlight time that they deserve. So if you fill it up with too many distractions right now, it might not feel the way you think it will. So maybe you just wait and do it in context. Luff's in the whip. It's like flies in the Vaseline or sand in the Vaseline, right? Yeah, as Cardio says, yeah, this is so dope. I'm going to stop giving you feedback soon. Seriously though, this is it's awesome. It's going to fit the EP really well. I think it's great. I love that you've got this cohesion and continuity that's running through this thing, and then we're getting weekly updates on it, so we can actually hear it in real time as it's developing. Because it's great insight. It's awesome. OTT the whole mix. Crank it. Call it good. Should sound just like Flume. And then money. Right? Oh, whatever you're smoking, you need to bottle up and sell because it's magical. Haha, it's just a shit ton of weed and cocaine. And Ableton, is that correct? Because Ableton, I think, is technically a drug, right? I mean, right? Isn't it? Right? Milk says, hooked the whole time. You've got it. Scruffy Rico says, that was spot on. Yeah, I think right now you've got a case of the what's next. And what's next is the vocal, homie. It's not you. Yep. Cutting below that for almost everything will lower your far low. Corefish, I see you and all of your comments. Yeah, this is some really good stuff. Good feedback, good music. It's good community. Wriggle Giggles, you are up. Central, I just want to hear what's next. That's it. That's it. Luff's in the whip. I think it might be the new command when I finally get my act together and remember to get the commands back up. Wriggle Giggles. This one is called Claritin. And Wriggle is saying this is a whip, but still bumps in the whip. All right, here we go. What does Luffs in the whip mean? Well, whip is work in progress, and Luffs is a measurement of loudness. And I've been giving Central hell for his loudness levels in work in progress files for some time now. So we've just shortened the whole conversation into Luffs in the whip. Quote of the morning. Central One is saying, it means I push Luffs like a woman pushes out a child. Alex is checking with HR, the HR department right now to see if that's okay. Does it fly? Or are we all staying after school and writing something on the board 100 times? All right, this one's called Claritin from Wriggle Giggles. See what he's up to this week. This is a great image, by the way. This last spot in this last 20 seconds here seems like a really good spot to work on the volume mix, but I think that's what needs to happen with this one. I love the vibe. I love the classic samples. I like all of it. It's just a little bit too smashed and loud, so it's harder to hear the different things that are being layered together with specificity, right? Just kind of becomes this like unified sound. So if we were to bring down those pads, for instance, right, they would then be more supportive instead of right up there with the more dominant elements like that saxophone, right? So allowing individual elements to kind of sit above everything else is really what we need in each one of these sections. 104 feels better than 45 seconds or a minute 40 seconds. I think those two areas are just, there's so many different things competing within the same frequency range and stereo position that they all just kind of run into each other. So that's what I would say there. Also at 15 seconds, you can hear it pretty clearly that there's some mid-high resonance in there. And I'd suggest smoothing that a bit because that's part of what's going to rub up against our ears the wrong way at those higher levels up high frequency wise. So that's what I would do. So I recommend a volume mix on this one and back off some of the compression. And it's a jam. This is, it's got a real fun vibe to it. It's like a light summertime, hanging out with your friends, making cool memories. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a nice vibe. What is going on in the chat? I'm gonna read this awesome and see what where it began. Wait, rabbits breathe? Oh no. Needs to breathe just a bit, yeah. Yeah, grammatic. Okay, so Melk says, you know, shortening the snare a bit. That would probably feel good. That would probably feel good. Kai, what's up? Welcome in. Happy Friday. What are some plugins I could use to help fix any resonance issues I might have? An EQ, my friend. An EQ is the very first one to take a look at. And the best way to do it, if you can't actually see the peak, is to solo that element, put it on loop, and create a band in your EQ that's fairly sharp, like this. And you're going to slowly drag it across. You don't want it to be at like its thinnest point. Okay, bring it out like this. And you're just going to sweep slowly during playback, and you're going to get to one spot, perhaps 3 or 4. If it's 3 or 4, you might want a different solution. But if it's just 1 or 2, you just sweep, and it's probably going to be in one of these specific spots, like 2, 4, 5, 8, something like that, 1500. Anyway, you're going to hear it. And when you do, you stop. And that is when you start to narrow your bandwidth. If you start to lose that squeal, stop what you're doing and start moving it until you get it, right? And then when you find that right position, you stop what you're doing and you just bring down the decibels this way, right? So you don't accidentally bump it out of position. And you don't need to always take it out like 20 dB. Sometimes like 10 dB or 5 dB is enough. And that's it. All right, people are digging this one, Rig. It's great. Good stuff. All right, Scruffy Rico says, reserving a spot, working on last minute video. Might be a bit quite not sure. Something I did today, play with my new polybrew. Oh, nice. So yeah, very early day as in today. Or an idea right now. Okay, cool. Let's listen to this thing. Always nice to hear what Scruffy Rico is. Oh, this video is private. Scruffy Rico, if you are in the room and listening right now, hit me back with a new link, and I will circle back to this one. And in the meantime, I'll play some cardio. There we go. Oh, never mind, you are here. Okay. Okay, you'll sort it. I'll play cardio, and then we'll come right back to you. Can we reserve a spot too? Can we edit comments? Okay. Heyo, so this is just an idea from a day ago or so. I don't know if this one will go any further or not, so let me know what you think. Okay, cool. I hope your link works, cardio. It's working.
You pull me and push me away. You chase my heart and hit the brakes. You hold my head on the water until I can't take no more. I wanna breathe you in, baby, but what are we fighting for? We're standing first for the sacrifice, burning our hearts just to stay alive. 'Cause when it comes down to you and I, whoa, it's wild. It's wild, wild, wild. We're setting first for the sacrifice, burning our hearts just to stay alive. 'Cause when it comes down to you and I, whoa, it's wild.
Liv. 1, I love you. You're awesome. 2, this is great. I was sitting here kind of like silently thinking, I hope there's a couple of fun little change ups in this one. And then you bust into over a minute of just playing, and holy heck. This is great. This is wonderful. Now Scruffy Rico has to follow you. Okay, so 18 seconds in, I think those plucks could have a longer fade. Everything else is still kind of building drum fill at 53 seconds. Anybody else hearing like a do-do-do-do or a do-do-do-do-do? I don't know. I'm just a drummer. That bass synth. I like the synth. At first I was thinking, I'm not sure if it's low enough or something, like there's this quality, and then every single time a note played, I was like, I like this a little bit more. But I do think I would love to hear a little bit more shape on the delivery of it, or just alter the delivery of it over time by putting an LFO on the attack. Right, so some of them are a little longer, some of them are a bit more sharp and percussive. The transients, I mean. 132 in this section, I think if the bass was down like 2 dB, the whole thing would feel better. I just love how the play was kind of foreshadowed by that little frequency sweep with the sample and hold, or the down sample. Yeah, this is like letting your ears play on a jungle gym for a while. This kind of stuff. It's good. Oh man, that track only exists because of you, Scruffy Rico. Is this the one that you sent the track over the other day when we were all tuning in? Drum fill. Those vapor palms. Am I wrong thinking that this was just playing with knobs? This is playing with knobs. Ben says that was cool. Becky Safe says, Liv, that was sick. Central One says, love this so much. Alex says, I can't even comprehend this glitchy awesomeness. Wonderful. Wonderful. Hell yeah, Shaper Box. Hell yeah. I know I saw Trumtize's comment about the Chaos Pad, and I was like, that's how it used to be done. Seriously though, like, can you make a Chaos Pad and Shaper Box interact? Badass. Yes, of course I'll put that in the Discord. I think you even asked in advance, right? There you go. All right, Scruffy Rico, you're up, my friend. I'm going to move this over to this screen, and I'm going to go full screen on this one for you. New stuff from Scruffy Rico today. Okay. Scruffy Rico, this is tasty, man. The only thing I saw in chat, honestly, as this was playing, was just loudness. Awesome track, lovely slow, automations everywhere, but for me, the kick could be pumping more, but that's maybe just my dark techno mind. Is saying vapor palms. This guy loves turning knobs that don't do anything, says Nano. Purple says she enjoyed it. Cardio is dancing. Yeah, I think it's a lot of really lovely things. Like the volume balance on this one is lovely. The palette of sounds that you're working with is lovely. The flow of the whole thing is lovely. It's very organic. Like Alex was saying, a lot of long form modulation in there. All the lovely ear bits or bits of ear candy are great. And I think that this could, like, the only thing that I would add to this maybe would be some more supportive embellishments, like transition effects, swells, sweeps. Swells could just be like simple noise swells, or it could be more like saturation swells to highlight certain elements at different points where it's maybe a bit unexpected, or maybe at a pivotal or transitional moment. Just tiny little things like that I think would feel really nice in this. I'm not sure about adding anything overt to this mix. I don't think that it's really missing much. I do think that hearing all of your mix processing would be great, just to kind of feel it all. I can imagine, the compression pumping and the, like, I can feel and hear all of the saturation that would be added before you bounce this. So I think it's in a pretty good spot. Yeah. And your new baby sounds great, by the way, Scruffy Rico. Beautiful, beautiful child. Great voice. No, don't. Respect to Gazelle. Sorry, I spoke over you, Gazelle. I appreciate you. Don't forget to grab your free sound pack. Link your Discord and your Twitch accounts, and you will see the subscriber rewards down here. The free sound pack of the month this month is gold. It is literally gold. You do not want to miss it. Javar, take care, homie. All right, let's see how many more we got here. Kwame, are you back yet? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to close the queue right now, and I will reopen it if it looks like we're going to make it with some extra time. That way everybody that's in here is heard. I don't see a hand up from Kwame, so we're going to come back. If you guys see Kwame come back, yell and scream and kick and all that stuff until I take notice. Vocative. This one is called You. Let's see what this is all about. Right? Are you excited about the track from Kwame too? Me too, man. Yeah, absolutely. He's just been killing it. Every single week there's a new level up, and I'm always excited to hear exactly what he's been working on. Walks, where are you? Oh, this is yours. Okay. Whew. All right. This is solid. It's a really fun mix. And Walks, hey, thank you so much for being so patient. I know it's your first time through this, but Feedback Fridays are different here. We actually listen to the entire song. We give everyone their time due. So um, now it's your turn. I appreciate it because this is hot. This is awesome. It's really fun. I agree with the comment of maybe a cool little transition effect at the beginning to bring us into it. It does start a little abruptly. I like the fill there. I like all the fills actually. Although it would be cool to hear a couple of them remixed, like they start as they have previously in the song, and then they just get flipped. Like maybe halfway through it, it reverses the next time through, or maybe this next one has got like a little stutter right in the middle of it, right? Or maybe it's got like a little sample and hold freeze for just like one note or something. Anyway, little tiny embellishments like that. I think you probably heard us talking about the fun factor. This is definitely a club vibe. It's definitely a well balanced, solid mix, and it's got really nice structure, right? The arrangement is solid, the composition is solid, the sound palette is solid. So I think really the only thing to attend to here is that fun factor of like these tiny little things. Although there was at 127, I heard a very small skip when something re-triggered. Um, the only volume mix critique that I would have here probably is prioritizing the vocal synth over the pad synth. So when it is present, that pad kind of ducks down just a little bit, right, in volume. So this would be a volume automation thing. And then when that vocal synth is not there, you bring it back up, so it's the hero again. I think that's one thing that I would change. I would also maybe move the pad a little bit off to the side no, actually, because the vocal's moving around quite a bit, huh? Anyway, just bring it down a little bit, I think, when the vocal synth is there, and it's all good. Already said all the stuff about really nice stuff. Okay, so here's what I mean by the creative embellishments and stuff, and that is like, don't be afraid to combine, like double or triple down on transitions, right? Like if you layer a swell, a suckback, and a riser and a hit together, that can end up creating some happy accidents, some build up around really awesome frequencies that can kind of push a transition way over the top. It can also make people want to hear it again and again and again because they can't quite figure out all of the mechanical pieces happening there because it's in such a short period of time that it all transpires. These are all just classic tricks basically to get people back into that moment again, right? I throw this out as an example every once in a while, but the Steve Miller song, Take the Money and Run, right? There's like one or two times, there's two times that the claps happen, right? And until people figure out that the clap happens after a, a, a place is named, like a location is named in the song, then they have a hard time orienting and getting the clap in the right spot. So it kind of becomes this game, and then they're proud of it once they get it, once they can expect it, and they're expecting it in the right spot, that kind of thing, right? So when you put tiny little things like that into a mix that's really freaking solid like this, it pays dividends because people are already eager to listen to it again because it feels good and it sounds good. But when you put in these tiny little playful elements in there, then it just takes it up a notch, right? Because there's something else to appreciate over time. So that's what I got for you on this one. Agreed, Scruffy Rico. I like a nice abrupt ending as well. Yep, everybody's liking it. A little dissonance here and there, says Vapor, and Tremtize is mentioning scales. Other than that, nice use of Brahms, says Vapor. Mixing is really, really good, says Vapor. Tremtize says bass fill is not in the right key there. Yep, that's it. That is it. That is it. Milk, you are up. Walks, thank you so much for bringing this one in. Eager to hear more from you. Yeah, also, smooth transitions feel good as well. Milk, you are up. Here we go. Sunbur later. This is a really dope picture here.
Call me up when you're sober, when you've showered and changed. You give it up like it's over, but never give it away. And I don't wanna fall for you this time. I can't find the truth in all the lies. If I could, I would, believe me. If I could, I wouldn't need you. I don't wanna fall for you this time.
This is really, really solid work, Milk. I think that the very first note really kind of sets the tone, and then you're constantly reinforcing it. The bass itself doesn't when it comes in, but the way that it's blending with the with the detuning, um, it's obviously not a static position. So as that's drifting, right, it's interacting with the bass in a really cool way. I think if you were to to scoop a little bit of the mids out of that bass, it would help the vocals sit a little bit more on top of the mix. I think the kick is a bit hot overall. And the luffs are a little bit hot. But the thing that you've built here, the ethos, the aesthetic, that you've applied to all of the instruments here is great. It's not degraded. It's not falling apart. It's more just that everything is more all in almost. It's imperfect and overblown, and it feels really, really cool. You've got a really nice kind of hybrid vibe running through this thing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So the couple things about the loudness. I feel like the drums, if you're not processing all of the drums separately, maybe you should. Because there were a couple of points where I thought that the drums kind of disappeared a little bit when the kick was being triggered, which made me think that maybe they were all being run through the same compressor. And I'm not sure that they should be, because I kind of like where the drum levels are at points when they kind of peak out. The kick seems really consistent. So I think I'd separate that out. That's it. That's it. I mean, this is solid. This is solid. I'd love to hear more from you. So definitely keep coming back on Fridays. And you just subbed, right? Yeah, so we do this thing. This free sound pack that I've mentioned that every subscriber gets, whatever you're inspired to make with the sounds that month from that free sound pack, you come back and you submit it in our community challenge, which means you drop it in a public, or you drop it in a Discord channel here, and then we listen to it together as a big group at the end of the month, beginning of the next month, and we vote and we see who wins our like just the favorite overall track for whatever reason. Every single person who participates, whoever uploads something, gets another free sound pack, and then the winners get a chance to win more stuff. The winner of the previous month holds a tie-breaking vote, and this month we actually have a dual winner. We have two different winners. So, and I still need to get with you guys and see if you're both down to be on the show too next week. But anyway, that's the other side of the free sound pack thing. And Melk, I would definitely encourage you to participate. I think that your sound would be welcomed, and I think you dig those sounds too. Tremties, you are up next. All right, so Tremties is saying, okay, I've been on Ghost of Mink kind of mood lately, but I have absolutely no clue how he manages to make the mix so open while everything is almost pushed to the max in the mix, meaning this is loud. So what would be a good way to control this intentional loudness and still make every element audible? This is not for the album, even though the name is food related. Okay, pizza ravioli. And he's also included in a version with 808 pushed a little louder to drive it a bit more, and the vocal does not have a stereo enhancer on it either. So we'll listen to these back to back and see what we're thinking here. You don't even know. Pizza ravioli on a toast. Pizza on a toast. Raspy voice, make it cool. Toast. Pizza ravioli on a toast. Pizza ravioli on a toast. I don't even know pizza ravioli on a toast. You don't even know. All right, we're going to listen to this next one, and then we're going to do the feedback here. I don't even know pizza ravioli on a toast. You don't even know, you don't even know, you don't even know. Pizza ravioli on a toast. I don't even have to listen to this whole thing to tell you what my answer is. My answer is to combine these two. This is your change-up. This is what you do partway through the track. Becky's hungry now. Everyone else is scared. All right, so number one, this is awesome. I really love the pizza ravioli on a toast. It's a really great, fun meter. It's funky. It's cool. It feels good on the tongue. Pizza ravioli on a toast. You don't even know. Raspy voice, make it cool. Yeah, it's just very catchy. Very catchy. It's very filling, says Becky. All right. As far as how you make stuff, well, what you said, uh, he makes the mix open while everything is pushed to its limits. And another way of saying that is that his mixes are expansive. And therein lies the clue as to what you should be reaching for. So there are different ways to arrive at loudness, as we all know, right? We can arrive through a volume boost, right? A gain addition. Saturation will oftentimes increase perceived loudness as all the harmonics and everything are coming up, right? And the drive is being added. Compression is something that people think you get loudness from, but it's actually turning the gain knob that actually makes it louder, right? And that right there is the pitfall. So if you got compression in here, it's probably downward compression. There's also something called upward compression or expansion. So these things function much the same. The outcome is different, though. They work, they're inverse operations. So a compressor sees a signal come in, reach a certain threshold, and then executes an attenuation based upon the parameters dialed in by the user. An expander finds a signal coming in, hits that same exact threshold, and executes an accent. It increases the volume above that threshold, right? So there's like this kind of give and take there between those two. If you use a tool like OTT, for instance, which allows you to treat 3 different bands in your sound profile independently from one another and apply both downward and upward compression, you can start to find a balance of expressiveness and taming. And I think that that's really what is kind of at the heart of mixes like that, where you've got this feeling of constraint and structure and definition and stuff that's being carved out through compression and EQ, right? Like traditional downward compression. But then there's also just this quality to the whole thing where it's got this kind of open upward expansiveness to it, right? So what you can do is you can treat your individual sounds with your traditional downward compression, and then you can treat your mix with this upward compression, right? With this kind of expansiveness. Or you can find a really good balance for the individual elements with the two of those things working in cooperation. Yeah, well, Tremtize, OTT as a plugin may not be the solution for this, but it's putting on display the functions that you might want to dabble in. Vapor Palms is saying, I still don't get the purpose of OTT. Maximus saying this as an FL user is just way better and precise. Tremtai says, I use Maximus a whole bunch. But I sometimes feel like OTT does the job better. Well, here's the thing is that you could listen to the same thing through a whole bunch of different tools, and you're going to get a different outcome from each one of them. This is why tools are important, right? And it's really just about, like, if you were to open up OTT, for instance, on in your project, you're going to notice that you've got this upward down here and you've got this downward. So if I was just going to throw this on that sound, right, that track as a sound, I would bring the downward compression all the way down to just a little bit. Like, I don't actually want a whole bunch of things being tapped down. If you've got your volume mix set up the right way, we don't need a whole lot of that, right? Your mix is responsive. And then I would keep the upward compression up, like maybe 60-70%, right? And then I don't want to really boost the lows a whole bunch in that. So I would actually bring this down. So you've got upward and downward compression, right? So this right over here is your upward, and this over here is your downward, right? So if it's like this, then that means that your downward compression is dominant in the mix over your upward compression. If you bring it up like this, that means that your upward compression is dominant over your downward compression. And then this are your levels, your low, mid, and high output levels. So you can volume mix them here and then create your desired compression mix here. Depth is the amount of the overall signal that you are allowing the compression to touch. Time is the amount of time transpiring during compression, or that the compression takes. In gain and out gain. So this is your main out boost, and this is your input, so you can control. So you can turn this way down if you need to, right? If your stuff is really peaking or something, for it to come through. So it's very simple on its face, and most people just toss it on as is, which I think is a shame, because it can actually do quite a bit. But you can find those same parameters in other tools. Sometimes you have to combine them. Sometimes you have to put a compressor on before an expander. That's just the way it is. Yeah, and I think nice. I'm glad that made sense. Yeah, so Traumatize, I think that going back to your post here with the two different tracks, I think that's the other thing, is that those are those two things you put together. Right? So like you play through this one time with the vocals one way, and then bam, they're all like stereo imaged, and you've got this totally different kind of profile, right? And maybe something else has happened in there. Maybe there's like a little top line when that change up happens. But I think that they're both worthy. I think that you've got two distinct sounds that you can roll with. All right, next up is Vapor Palms. Thank you, Tremtize. Alex, by the way, I did see your email. You are in my inbox, and you are on my to-do list. We're ramping up for NAMM right now. I haven't even had the chance to respond to a lot of people, but I am aware. I will get that to you. We will turn it around. All right, so Vapor Palms is saying, I think the arrangement is mostly finished. Don't really know if the mixing could be improved on. Bass is maybe a bit too strong, in my opinion. Let's find out. This one's called Band Camp. All right, so Vapor Palms is saying the horn's going to get a counter. Don't worry. So I'll scratch this one. Because it definitely feels like it could handle another like octave up or something layered in there with it. I definitely hear like this kind of sultry, taking its time, kind of top line sax here. Um, just kind of running, just telling a story. Something that's organic and kind of flowing over the top of everything. I think the bass level's okay. I think it's okay. And I love this vibe. It's slow. It's like it feels good. It's a sexy vibe. It's good. I'm liking it. Purple, you're trying your first float session. Where are you going to float on? Friends with Chris. That started in his apartment. I used to go to his spare bedroom and float in a tank and drink his kombucha. Such a good place. You'll love it. It is. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Alex, I think this is good. I think if you're tossing some kind of top line on there or some kind of counter to the horns, that it's going to feel really fleshed out and whole. What you going to do with this one? Hypersleep. All right. Yeah, it looks like people are liking this one. Thank you for the heads up on Christoph. That means that I probably won't touch it this weekend. I'll probably do it next week. We're just gearing up for NAMM right now, so I need to prioritize. Nice. Well, you gotta love the birthday presents. All right, we've got a bit more, and we've got 1, 2, 3 folks in. So hey, Corefish. I'm not sure how long these are, but if these are long, then we're just going to do the one. We're going to listen to the others, and we'll circle back and we'll get this other one if we got the time. All right. So here we go. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's so good. It is just like, oh, it's such quality decompression, right? Yeah, I think you're really going to like it, Heidi. Just give in. That's all I got to say. Just give in. Freaking COVID. Die COVID. All right, here we go. This one's called Stockpiles from Corefish.
Wasted, just a little bit of life up in my basement. Wish I never broke the pipe, I feel amazing. Put my feelings to the side, can't replace it. Maybe even with a ride, I'm adjacent to people that can never slide. What am I dealing with? Pent up inside. Want a relationship, but not the fight. Related intoxication, I'm high. Wasted, so much time with you. 2 years in fear, every time I lose, that's a demon. Shot straight beaming, now I'm stout, dizzy 'cause I need it. I know the
Okay, this is great. First off, the bass is a little hot in the mix. The bass is just up a little bit too much in this mix. Second, LUFS are high. The overall perceived loudness of the track is just too high, and it will get turned down on streaming platforms. It's got a really dope vibe, really awesome, like summertime jam. What this really needs to be really awesome, this is a great track, but for it to be really awesome is for it to not be mixed like it's an electronic track. I feel like this one is trying to have the loudness and impact of some kind of club mix, and that's not what it is. It should have the soul and the vibe being the immediate priority, not the loudness. It should absolutely be the commingling of the timbres in the mix, and it should be the prioritization of the different elements at different moments in time, so you can emphasize the emotional impact and just increase the overall dynamic range, right? Volume wise, because that's the main influencer of emotional delivery and impact in a mix like this. So I would absolutely steer you in the direction of mixing this like an R&B track or a soul track, and away from the workflow that's being followed right now, which is, it feels more like an electronic kind of approach. So let's see what the chat says about this, and we'll see if I'm crazy or not. Tremtai says loves the images, by the way. Instant vibe. Becky is shaking her booty all the way down to Miami. Vapor Palms thinks this is great. Tremtai says summer vacation vibe. Bass is a bit much. Vapor is saying vocal editing is really nice, and those different timbres in there are really awesome. Tremtai says the low formant voice could use a bit more flavor. Never enough on vocal disto, says Vapor Palms. Very fun. Dope track. Banger, says Paul. Vapor says, yeah, Chris is definitely right on this regarding loudness. Take care, Paul. Have a great weekend, dude. Happy holiday to you if you're celebrating it. Hope you get some sunshine. Vapor says the some summer vibe and beat needs the right amount of loudness. Love. Be done more to give it a more indie feel, but I agree. Yeah, you know, I would say indie, soul, R&B. Pick something that is not the electronic approach, because you're trying to hit the numbers that are for the wrong genre, I think. Other than that, this is really, really solid, and I hope that you have the ability to go back and rework that mix a bit, because I think it would sound better massaged a bit. All right, we'll come back to Longbow if we have the time for it. Tempest, you are up. This one is called Master as It Was. Massage. Okay. Oh man, Vapor, you're awesome, dude. Vapor saying, uh, thanks, Chris, and everyone in chat for making every Feedback Friday one of the most wholesome one I've ever experienced. Dude, thank you. Jumpties is saying this track gives me huge nostalgia for the old electro stuff from my teen years. Nice, that lead. So what else is being said here? I think people are just kind of liking it. Here's what I've got for you. Number one, this is nice, Tempest. Two, I think the vocal could be sitting on top of the rest of the mix just a little bit more. Right now, it feels like it's tucked right underneath those synths and stuff, and it really should be right up on top, right? So that's that can end up being a multi-part process. You could try putting a little saturation on the vocals. It might be a little bit too much. If you do go that route, you could try something really simple and transparent, like an overdrive to get started without any drive actually being added, so there's no real distortion taking place. Second thing you can do is try to carve out a little bit of mid-frequency range or mid-range space frequency-wise in a few other elements in the mix to make more room for those vocals. The other thing I would mention is just the general loudness of the bass elements in this, and that's probably affecting all sorts of stuff in the track. So number one, bass in the sides, it's a little wide, bring them down in the sides. The subs, the sub level is just too hot for the track. It's affecting the clarity and power of the entire mix. So as soon as you eliminate a lot of the low at the sub level, you're probably going to hear a big power boost, like a big kind of expressive, expansive kind of effect with the rest of your mix, which will be good. That said, there are some low frequencies causing some cancellation, meaning that you've got 2 or 3 different low-end players in the mix happening, like they're all being triggered simultaneously, and they're canceling each other out. And you can kind of hear it. There's like some power, and then it's almost like it's kind of dampened, like the energy or the power, the feeling of the energy in the mix is kind of dampened there momentarily, and that's an effect of that cancellation. So going through the mix and taking out as much of the low end frequencies in each element as you can. Make sure that only one of your low end elements is actively distributing sub frequencies in the mix. Make sure they're not touching the sides, and make sure that they're not dominant. And then everything else in the mix, just make sure that you're cutting off as much as you can, high and low as you go, without affecting the energy and life force of your sound. And the more you can cut away, the better for a track like this, because you've got a lot happening. The kick will probably be more present after you wrangle in all those lows. If it's not, give it a little saturation to stand out. That's totally fine. Just a little bit. That's all it's going to need. 149, small embellishments, little ear candy bits like the can opening up or the little perks out on the sides during the drum fills or whatever. Those can all kind of come up. I think that's what I got for you right now. I know it's a lot, but that does not mean that this is not a good track. It just means that these are the things that I hear that could make it even better. So thank you, Tempest. And moving on, we got one from Kai here. All right, so Kai is saying, made this in around half an hour, and I'm wondering what you think of the idea. New idea compressed. Let's listen. Drum ties, take care, homie.
Taking all the reasons forcing us to run, to break away of all mistakes that we have done. How we care what we do, we'll uncover truth, that we're better off as one to get us through.
Kai, here's what I think about this as an idea. I think this idea is great. I think, especially for 30 minutes of work, it's great. You found yourself right in the middle of a very popular range of chords, tempo, mood, style, sound palette. Like you've got. This is one of those recipes for radio play. I would say chase this and turn it into something a bit more. The only thing that I would add as a caveat before you continue is fun. This sounds so familiar that it's going to be easy for a lot of people to listen to and move on. But what I would encourage you to do is find ways. Jazz, thank you so much. How was your stream? Happy Friday, by the way. I would encourage you, Kai, to find some ways to incorporate fun into the process as you're fleshing out the rest of this. Reason being is, you heard the effect of fun, right? Of just absolutely playing once you get to a certain point in your mix, right? You've heard it on a couple of tracks in here. That one from Cardio Party earlier just melted minds, and the one from Central was melting minds. And the reason is because there's this point that we get to that all you have to do is play, and now you're engaging in the energy of it, and that's what's going to allow other people to engage in the energy. So that's what I would say. You've got a really good initial idea, again, especially for the 30 minutes of work. So as you're playing through this, think of some fun ways. I'm talking like full stops, stutters, like some good hands up moments, something that would be worthy of having spotlights show up on a stage for, right? Like something that's going to get people really excited, not just fitting into the mold, right? Because right now this is fitting into that kind of formula perfectly, right? For like getting some radio play, but you don't want radio play. What you want is for people to want to listen to this again, right? That's really what it's about. So, Jazz Life, did they all bail on you, man? Oh, well, hey, man, thank you so much for coming in. We're cute. It's been a minute. We gotta power down soon anyway, because I got more meetings. I got deadlines to get releases out this week and whatnot. So we're just about wrapping up here. What do you think it would be better if I pulled the vocal right at the beginning of the second half of the drop of North Mix? Good point. I got to play around and maybe look for some unique samples or sounds to make the breaks and transitions a little more interesting. Scruffy Rico is asking about the vocals. How was the stream? It was good, cute. It was good. Shabal. Welcome in. Good to have you here too, homie. Always good to see you here. They're from Splice. I see. Central saying, great tracks today. Love what everyone's done. Right? You get through a Feedback Friday and you're just like, man, I feel like I kind of went to a festival or something, but it was all behind the scenes and like pre-release stuff. It's just great. A broke college kid and can't afford to hire singers. Jazz, hold on a second. I got a question, some clarity here before you implode due to hunger. Are you a pro at eating or are you a pro at music? And a great handle, by the way. I'm out for the day. Thanks for the great stream. Have a good one, everyone, says Vapor Palms. Thank you, Alex, for being here. Appreciate you, man. Some Ghost Hack royalty on his way out the door there, you guys. If you're not checking out Ghost Hack, do that. Got awesome stuff. Seriously, though, Kai, this is great. I'm not sure exactly how to answer the last question. Another? Oh, Alex. You're a fantastic human, homie. I appreciate you. Everybody that just got subs, go grab your free sound pack from the Discord. All you have to do is link your Discord and Twitch profiles, and you will unlock the subscriber rewards channel here on the OhmLab Discord. And when you do, download your free sound pack right away. Whatever you're inspired to make with those sounds, you come back and submit it in our monthly challenge, which is just simply dropping the track in one of these Discord channels. And you'll get another free sound pack just for participating, because we love each other here. It's all about community. Scruffy Rico says, I'm a 47-year-old man having what must be a midlife crisis and can't get vocalists either. Alex, you're a champ. Take care, homie. Big love. Hope you have a great weekend. Well, let's let this this almost hype train wind down. And who's up right now? Who's doing what here on Twitch? Who's streaming right now on this fine Friday? Don't forget, if you just received a sub, you've got a free sound pack waiting for you on the Discord. Let's see. Nate's up? Let's go raid Nate, you guys. We haven't done that in a long time. He's usually out working or something by now. This is going to surprise the hell out of him. And he's got 25 people there, too. Let's go double his party. As always, I appreciate you guys so flippin' much. I will see you next week. I'm unsure about the stream on Monday yet. It's a holiday here. I might do it, I might not. Big love. You guys freaking kill it every single Friday, and I'm so proud to be here with you. Next week is our community listening and voting party. Get ready for that. Big love. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Another raid? Yo! Oh my god! What up, Chris? Oh my goodness. Jesus. That's another raid? Yo! Guys, thank you so much for the... Guys, if you guys don't know, OhmLab. That is